Welcome back, tubers. If you like this type of content, please consider a like, a subscribe, and also leave a comment. Thank you. Welcome back, tubers. Today is a catch-up day. Another day in paradise, I always say. Beautiful out, sunshine shining. Anyway, what I wanted to let you guys know, I've been starting the sheetrock. Got a couple of sheets up, and I will show you those in a second. We're still continuing on the bedroom floor over there. We ran into some minor issues. We got to pick up the outside wall, and for whatever reason, our attachments to the outside with another 2x6 that give us some leverage to pull up the whole wall altogether was not sturdy enough. I only had 3.5-inch screws in there, so I had to purchase some longer ones. I got some 5-inch screws so they can go deep into the wall studs because there's shiplap on the outside and some beveled siding. So we needed to go a little deeper there. I've got those. I haven't tried them out yet, but I will show you that in a second. First of all, let me show you what we've done with the sheetrock. Anyway, as I was talking about earlier in one of my other films, I wanted to get this very first piece of sheetrock in because then after that, I've got smaller pieces that can go all up in here and into the other areas. I had a friend help me get this one up. It was a little awkward, but so we did it. Plenty of screws in it, and then we're good. See, now before, the last couple of videos, I had to straighten out these two ceiling joists because this one was a doubled one, and then somebody had chopped it in the middle there to put a light fixture. It was all jerry-rigged and stuff, you know. And then this one, I had to move it over an inch, inch and a half, because it wasn't quite in line with the other ones. I wanted the end of the sheetrock to get on it, and I have accomplished that. And then I attached this sheetrock to the outside, but then I remembered, oh crap, I got to get the ceiling done first. So we may be doing that too. I may have to pull down a lot of this ceiling stuff in here to do, you know, get a piece of sheetrock up here first, and then this one, I only put a couple of screws in it, but then we'll just tighten it up against the ceiling there after I get that other piece of sheetrock in. So I'm going to continue to do the bathroom, get that out of the way, and if you've noticed, there's no hole for the light. I was going to put a light in right here, and then a light over there about where the sink is going to go. I've marked it out. You can barely see it, but I've marked it out. There's a pencil drawing mark right there and a pencil drawing mark right there. So my lights that I bought, oh yeah, let me go in here and look at them for you guys. 1 second. I bought these LED lights, and they come with a J box, junction box, that's what they call it. And I was thinking maybe I can take the junction box off, you know, run them off of DC. These things, by the way, I plugged them into AC just as they are, and more, these suckers are bright. They only use 10 watts of power, but, and they're like a 100-watt light bulb. So I'm going to be putting them on a dimmer. I'm going to have 6 of them up in the kitchen ceiling, and they're like 3.5 inches tall. So those will fit really nicely up into the ceiling because my ceiling joists are 2x4s. So they're only, you know, 3.5 inches to begin with. And then you got the 1/2-inch sheetrock down on the bottom here. So anyway, those are the ones that I've selected. I tried testing one by taking the J box off and the 2 wires inside. Do they accept DC voltage? And to my surprise, they do not. I put 18 volts, I put 12 volts, I put 6 volts, I put all kinds of voltage on the 2 wires that are inside that comes up to the circuit board, that the AC gets distributed down through and converted to whatever, DC or something, I don't know. I couldn't get it to work. So I'm going to be using these as AC going to them, and then I had to buy some 14 gauge wire, 14.2 with ground. So 14 gauge a lot thinner than the 12 gauge, of course, but about a 100-foot roll. I'm going to run those all out to the lights. Now, here's what I could do. I used to do the whole light system in 14 gauge wire, but each light, like you say, I don't only use this 10 watts. If I've got 2 lights in the bathroom coming off of the switch, I really don't need 14 gauge wire just to operate 2 lights that put out 10 watts apiece. That's 20 watts. So I'm thinking that the original 16 gauge wiring that I already have in the ceiling for the lights, I could still reuse those with AC. They won't be drawing any current large enough to be a problem. So anyway, that's what I figured out. Now, back to the other problem that we have. Like I said, I ran into an issue with the wall, the outside wall. I didn't have long enough screws, so I wound up getting some 5-inch screws, but they take a T25 screw head. So I had to get a couple of T25s, and let me show you that. Going into the other room here, the outside wall. Ugh. What I have been doing, getting this wall prepared so that I can pick it up, right? I screwed a 2x6 to the outside wall. It's about 6 feet, 8 feet long, something like that. And as I'm lifting it up, it starts pulling out away from the wall. And as you can see right here, this is shiplap on the inside here. This shiplap first, and then there's siding on the outside. And so anyway, I was screwed to it, but my screws only came in an inch into the 2x4. And a whole inch was not enough to really anchor it into the stud wall. So hence, and those are my 3.5s that I've got. So I got the 5 inches, so now it's going to bury it another 1.5 inches. So we're going to be almost 2.5 inches into that stud wall with these new screws that I've got. So I've got to redo all of that on the outside. I got to tap that wood back in and straighten it all up, and then put all brand new screws in. Pull all the other screws out. So here's what I was going to do. I noticed that when I was picking up the outside wall from the outside, that it had a tendency to come in anyway. So what I did was I screwed a couple of pieces of wood together here and a long 8-foot 2x6, and I've got, my 12-ton jack in here pushing, just holding it, to prevent the wall from coming in, right? I want it to stay pretty much where it's at. Maybe an inch more inward, but I've got 3 inches of play on my jack there to let it, come in a little bit. So, and what I've been doing is that from the outside, it only starts holding so much, and then it breaks loose, and that was bothering me a bit. So what I was going to do is take my toe jack and lift it up from the inside. Now, I tried lifting it up on the inside before by itself, and I managed to crack my board here, and it's cracked over here too. So I got to replace that piece right there. I'm going to roughly about 4 feet of that, I'm going to cut back out of there because it's all cracked up. And then once I get a little bit of it pulled up on the outside, then I'll be able to get my toe jack in here with another 2x4 underneath it to double up the strength, and then I'll have both jacks on the outside and on the inside. And because, geez, I got my 20-ton jack on the outside, and it's laughing at me, you know. I get about an inch or two into the air, and I still got to go another inch to get that up over the top of the rim joist that I've got in here. And dang, it keeps pulling away from the wall out there. Keeps ripping my wall up. So I got to take my big hammer and I start putting that all back together and take all the screws out and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's a trial and error. Like I said, baby steps, and if one thing doesn't work, then you got to try something else. So another reason why I haven't really pulled down the old inside of the wall is because some of this structure, plaster and lath, helps kind of hold it together. Now, if you've noticed, there's no insulation in this bay and this bay and those two bays and a couple more bays down there. Whoever did the insulation on this house, you know, retrofitted. See, they put the little hole in from the outside and they blow in insulation. Well, these were vacant. They drilled the holes in the top, but whoever was blowing in the insulation never blew it in several of the stud walls. Now this clearly down here, they've got one hole in this side, so this was done, but the other one, there's no hole from the outside. This one was not sprayed in. For some reason, they didn't go to the other side of the stud and blow in the insulation. So anyway, I just wanted to catch you up on what we've been doing. It's been several days since I last recorded a video. Well, actually, I had to go out of town for a couple of days for a family reunion. A small one. It was an aunt and a cousin of mine. So had to get caught up. And great. Anyway, so if you've made it this far into the video, please throw me a like and a subscribe and a comment. Oh, don't forget to comment. I love hearing from you guys. So I was here earlier today. I had a fire going, but it's all completely burned out by now. So I'm going to hit it again tomorrow and start working on my screws here and get everything all set up again. And we're going to try to pick that wall up again, give it another shot. So anyway, yeah, help a brother out, throw me like, subscribe, and a comment. And we love seeing you guys. So anyway, we'll catch you with the next video. All right, thanks.